Wait a sec. Oh. Oh. Hold on. I've screwed up. Wait a sec. Oh. Oh. Hold on. It's solved. Right. Never mind. Oh, dear God.
I think I'm huge now. What happened to you?
Look, just back away from the camera and everything's going to be just fine. I just...
All right, hold on. Let me move around here a little bit. There we go. There we go. Okay, we're getting a little better.
Okay, good. You're comfy then. Fantastic. Actually, I have no idea how comfort relates to a spectral status. I'm horribly ignorant on this point. One of the things I'm hoping will clear up over the course of the stream. First off, greetings everyone. Director Arketer here with Ghastly of Gulf City fame. I think something went really wrong in the summoning. We're just going to roll with it. First off,
you do what you can, man. Shit. Oh, look, you're cutting my hand off here, Ark. Shoot.
I can fix this. I can fix this. Everything's going to be just fine.
That means if I try to walk over here like this right here. There we go. Now I got some room. Now you might get face touched, Ark. That's all I'm saying, man. All right, I'm gonna go back over here for now. Hey. Fucking scientist, man.
It's true. I'm actually not that much of a super scientist. I'm more of a super science bureaucrat, but we've been over that.
What the fuck is a super science bureaucrat? What does that mean?
It means I manage a lot of what other people might rather crudely term mad scientists. Perfectly sane, often very eccentric. Thin line between genius and madness. You've probably heard that before. Look, I just keep them focused on task, and everything's just fine. I myself have a certain generalist understanding, but not quite the mad scientist everyone keeps on pinning me as, because I'm not mad, although I am increasingly angry.
I understand, man.
Well, yeah, I know that you're used to a certain amount of prejudice as well. This is an established thing over the course of your career. You're always an advocate for spectral rights, if I understand correctly. Is that right?
That is certainly true. That is certainly true. We live in a world where there's a narrative out there being proliferated by the life-controlled media, Ark, and essentially they've created a situation where it's now completely socially acceptable for people to assume that A, all ghosts are bad, right? And B, that for whatever reason, it's their responsibility to kick us out of our homes and out of the places where they are and not allow us to integrate into their society. It's ridiculous, Ark. I'm telling you, man. And so a big part of my purview is to make sure that I raise not only awareness, but that I'm able to find ways to correct these problems that have really gone unchecked for a pretty serious amount of time. You know what I'm saying?
I do, and I sympathize acutely. Again, I often get pegged as a mad scientist, and mad scientists are always depicted as some sort of cackling mad villain who wants to destroy the world, gain world domination. I don't want world domination. No one at Arker Labs wants world domination. That market isn't a colossal glut. Everyone wants to rule the world. You've heard that.
I don't mean to interrupt, but Ghastly, could you please hear if you wink?
I heard "Will you please?" and then it cut out. What'd you say?
Could you speak into the mic a little bit more?
I mean, it's all the way up. Let me try to switch to a different input or something.
Well, you could also have Ark, wink, wink.
No, look, I hear you. Everything goes wrong each time, but we're going to sort it out. We'll get through this together, and we'll be stronger for it.
How's this? Is this louder or the same? Now you can't hear me at all. Okay, that's not good.
I'm hearing you pretty well. We're kind of struggling to.
I mean, I have my shit turned all the way up, man.
I swear it's actually gone down according to the broadcasting software.
Okay, let's try. This should be the loudest path I have for the microphone, and it's turned all the way up on my end. I mean, here, I'll crank it up from this. Try that. That's probably loud as shit. On my end, that's in the red now. Oh boy.
Yeah, this is awkward. It's always awkward. Okay, hold on.
Probably something to do with the ethereal plane.
Look, nothing has ever gone right when we've had any sort of spectral guest. Last one we summoned possessed me and bad things happened. Unfortunate bad things happened. That was a terrible idea, really. Should have gone with a local spectre, but apparently there's something about drawing one from a hell dimension that was so much easier. It really didn't pan out very well. What is going wrong here?
Here, try. I mean, I'm up higher than I was even. Like I said, my bars are in the red. My output is in the red. So that this is about all the signal I can give you, my friend.
Yes, and it's that much louder for me personally, but it's not going out.
I see.
Honestly, what could possibly be going wrong at this point?
I don't know. I should be on your desktop audio channel.
That's right, and it is on the desktop audio channel. However, the volume is remaining the same no matter how close to rupturing my eardrums we get.
Well, if it would have to be the output of that. So I don't know. You may have to add a compressor to your desktop audio channel in the output for OBS, and then use makeup gain to turn it. I don't know. I don't know exactly what your setup is, but I'm up super loud.
Look, I'm just going to add some gain, and if that doesn't do it, we're screwed.
No.
Okay, try saying something again.
What's up from beyond the grave? My name is Ghastly. I'm the
Holy
local
shit,
representative
that's
of the
gonna be loud for
Translucent White
everyone.
delegation, and you are what? Nope, too much.
Wait, that's my fault. Way too much.
If it's too much here, I can go back to my regular setting. If you figure it
No.
out. So this would be my regular output volume that I use.
Okay, well, look, we've got you loud enough. I am confident of that.
All right.
If this doesn't do it, nothing will.
People are
All
saying
right.
it's good. People are saying it's good.
Okay, all right. If it gets low again, just tell me. I'll fucking, I'll do my output gain bigger. Or
Oh, don't
now
worry,
it's low again. God.
It's all my fault.
You leave it, Ark. I'm gonna go way up like this. I'm gonna go into the red on my gain because fucking bright power, man. And that hopefully should be louder. I can't tell.
Look, they are saying it's fine now, and that's great.
Oh, now it's low again.
What?
This is just what I'm seeing.
You're both in the yellow. Look, I think they're screwing with us now.
That's possible. Now, if you can hear me, put a fry power in the chat. That's all I'm saying, Make sure to smash like on this stream and subscribe to this channel, guys.
Oh, yes. All the channels. Whichever channel you happen to be on.
That's right. The one I'm looking at is Direwolf. I'm looking at Wolf Channel.
Yes.
Wolf Channel.
Oh, yes. So this is going over a wide range of channels. Direwolf Media extends over the Direwolf Media channel, the Twitch channel, there's the D-Live channel. I think there's at least one more, not counting my own, at YouTube/Director Arketer Live. Right.
Oh, guys, make sure to subscribe to that one too. Holy crap, there's no way for me to keep up with all the chits in the chats. They're all over the place.
Yes, this is why we have the chat manager, Angus Roman, who we blame for not passing along important messages.
Got it.
Oh, right. I would stress, if by sheer chance some of you are aware of my channel, but not Gulf City or relevant streams, then must subscribe immediately. Excellent work. And
listen to this guy.
Fascinating
He knows what
series.
he's talking about.
It really is true. Production quality is so far beyond what I'm capable of still.
Well, I just draw really fast, basically, is what it comes down to, man.
It's superhuman.
My wrist hurts like a bitch, but, you got to go fast in today's ever-changing animation market.
Well, I know you're dedicated to your projects here, so that's the only reason we haven't offered you employment here. Although, honestly, I'm not sure if we have use for animation specifically, but superhuman speed Absolutely.
Superhuman speed.
Absolutely.
That's right.
Super. Is it post-human if it's after death? Super
Yeah.
posthumousness?
Well, I'm not necessarily. Posthumous is a little bit of a transitional state, if you ask me. I've moved further than just being dead. You know what I mean? It's one thing to just be dead and be a stiff in the ground, but reaching a state that we call entanglement by following the ways of the whale allowed me to evolve into the intricately wrought detail you're seeing me in today. Mm.
Hmm. What did you look like before that?
Well, I figured I'd look pretty much like you, hair, teeth, skin, all that stupid shit the living have.
Oh. You know, I. Your name is Ghastly, at least that's what everyone calls you these days. Was that
Mm-hmm.
your living name, or do you not like to refer to that? Is it a bit like.
Negative Ghost Rider. You typically are able to receive a new name at the time of evolvement. In a lot of cases, ghosts don't necessarily remember everything about being alive once they evolve. It really is a big change to go through.
I see. Yeah, this brings me to a question I was meaning to ask. I don't know how much attention you've been paying to Twitter, for example, but I had a chat with one of your fans, your mini
Mm-hmm.
fans, and
Mm-hmm.
or fellow whale worshippers,
Mm-hmm.
and I noted that, strictly speaking, I'm not opposed to this entanglement thing. The Halloween before last, for example, I demonstrated one of our devices that provides a certain similar state. Bit of a fraud. It was fun though.
Mm-hmm.
However, ultimately, if I was going for a posthumous existence, I was kind of hoping for a spooky, scary skeleton state. What is the whale's stance on that?
On skeletons?
Yes.
Well, I mean, essentially, that still falls under the corpse category. You know what I mean? As far as a skeleton that's laying there, that's fine. That is what it is. The reanimation of a skeleton, you got to be real careful there because I got to tell you, we don't deal too well with the undead, my friend. As far as I'm concerned, your heart is either beating or it is not. You are alive or you are dead, my man. There are two states, two scoops. Life is not a spectrum. You understand what I'm saying? So all fucking zombies, werewolves, I'm sorry, not werewolves, vampires, mummies, any kind of reanimation, basically, that goes directly against our religion. And myself and the whale gang don't typically take too kindly to any of that.
Oh.
So I think you're walking a fine line if you're trying to be a skeleton, man. Being just a dead skeleton is one thing, but reanimation of bones, you're talking about some witch doctor shit here, man. That sounds suspiciously heathen to me.
Okay, well, I will keep that in mind. I have to say I'm a bit disappointed. I like skeletons overall. After all, when it comes to living at least, everyone has a skeleton deep inside them just waiting to get
Sure.
out. And they're
Sure.
all white.
Mm-hmm. That's also true.
So,
But
you
they're
know,
opaque. So as far as I'm concerned, they still fall into the same fucking category as you living flesh bags, man. Bunch of opaque motherfuckers trying to tell a translucent white man what to do.
okay, so what if it was a spectral form containing within it a skeleton?
I feel like that I would be okay with. You'd have to have some serious goddamn phase control to be able to hold a skeleton inside of a ghost body, but I don't think it's impossible. I think that's doable, man.
Hmm. Okay, I could work with
I
that.
mean, I went to the Narmer phasing school, which is it's pretty good. It's a pretty good place to go. That's founded by one of the guys that's on the fucking tribunal, man. So they know what they're talking about. And even still, granted, I've only been dead 15 years, but even still, I think, shoot, man, we may have to run some tests. We may have to run some tests. That's a tough one.
You
I
know,
like the idea of being able to hold an entire skeleton on the inside. I mean, not for me personally. I don't want to do that. I'm already beautiful and translucent white. But somebody else, a lesser specter, if you will, that may be within their purview.
I'm not very proud. I could go with that. Besides, look, there's something about the physical framework, something about skeletons that appeals to me deeply. It's like a suit of armor, but just on the inside. And it also provides a framework one can build upon. You don't see that many gilded skeletons.
That's true.
I could, of
True,
course,
yeah.
so many improvements that I can make with that physical framework to build on. And what better framework to start with than nature's own? But I suppose that's getting a bit ahead. I don't know if I am entangled. I won't really know until I croak. But if I
That's
do,
true too. Yeah.
that's what I plan on going with.
Well, my suggestion to you in the meantime is to learn our peaceful ways by force. That's your best chance at being able to evolve after you die. I mean, you don't want to get reincarnated and come back as a lesser scientist, studying fucking cosmetology and shit, spraying fucking perfume into rabbits' eyes. That's not very much fun.
What would burden me, my worst case scenario, I like to think I've lived a better life than this, but if I came back as an astrologist, that would hurt.
Oh boy. Yeah, that's pretty rough. Or like if you had to come back and study numerology and shit. Ugh, God. Became
Yeah.
a zodiac expert.
Oh no. No. I
Air
don't
quotes,
deserve that.
Science,
I don't
Yeah,
deserve
I
that.
think you've done a better job than that, my friend. I don't think that's a concern that you need to worry about. You really got to be the lowest of the low to call yourself a scientist of numerology.
A scientist in numerology or an astrologer, look, I know a lot of people put a stock in it, but strictly speaking, if you want to know things about yourself you never knew, you don't look to the stars, you look to Google's recorded history.
Mm-hmm.
If you want a precise prediction designed specifically for only you, Google knows. Google knows just about everything.
Yeah, fair enough. They can recommend you all types of things, from a job to the next piece of furniture you should buy, to which gum is better. And it could hear you talking about a song and then try to get you to buy the album. It almost knows too much, my man.
Almost.
Yeah, almost.
I know, listening to
But
us
I'm a
right
slave
now.
to convenience. What can I say?
I hear you. It's really hard to try to break free of something that is in the process of actively consuming the internet wholesale.
It's true. It's true. We're lurching towards allowing our robot overlords to take out any manner of choice that you living might have during the course of your lives. But I like to be able to watch a TV show and go, "There's that one broad. What show was she in?" and look it up.
That's true, although
So there's balance.
Google was never really necessary for that specifically. They just, edged out the market on that particular fancy trick.
That's reasonable. Yeah.
But, I hear you. I really don't know what to go with that. At the same time, though, our robot overlords, I want to stress that we'll be lucky if we have robot overlords that want to keep us around, that is. I'm inclined to trust a benevolent AI over my fellow humans for the most part.
I see. You know what? You might not be wrong. That's interesting, man, because you can always assume that any one of you living motherfuckers is going to have some level of anecdotal bias just based on whatever you've seen in your life. But AI would just run the ones and the zeros, man. Like you say, if we could trust them to not want to murder us, which I don't think we can, in a scenario where slavery is the best possible outcome for humanity, we may want to tread lightly. But there is something to be said for decision making done by a machine that literally sees it in black and translucent white. You know what I mean? No spectrum bullshit.
Oh, yes. They will probably be able to determine what is the objectively best course. It won't make everyone happy, but then nothing ever does.
And that's true. You can't win them all, man. Somebody always loses.
So, strictly speaking, if we have an AI overlord that doesn't want to just murder us all, we are way ahead of the curve on potential outcomes. So keep that in mind. In the event of an AI overlord, maybe don't rush to piss it off. Just throwing it out there.
Yeah. That's a solid PSA. I like the phrasing too. In the event of robot overlords, oxygen will drop from the compartment above your head. Try not to piss off your new masters. I like it, man.
Hey, look,
just a fucking public service announcement here on Ark's channel, man.
I'm not convinced that in the event that we do decide to go to war, we're going to win. There's a very serious...
Nah, son. We don't have a Sarah Connor anywhere nearby. We don't make people like that anymore.
Sarah Connor! Look, the fact that they had a chance was entirely plot magic. Exponential self-improvement!
Yeah. That's true, man.
The odds of us winning are nil. Our best outcome in that circumstance is that decides not to screw around with us at all and just pisses off the planet.
Mm-hmm.
It goes. The her version of reality.
Mm.
But this is why we don't really tinker much with AI here. All human work
Well, I
here
mean,
at Arker Labs.
you got a nice fucking lab here, man. It's I
And
feel like you've got some kind of AI integration here.
thank you, Dork Oracle. Yes, well, there's a certain amount of AI, but not sentient AI. No effort to create sentient AI. No AI that writes itself, which, by the way, sets us as more ethical and, as well, wise than YouTube and Google, who use a lot of algorithms that are programmed by algorithms hypothetically programmed by a human as well. I don't think half the people who operate these algorithms really know what they do anymore.
Fair enough. I mean, how many generations away from human involvement do you have to get before it becomes a language that we have no ability to decipher anymore? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like what's the point of no return there? Like, okay, an algorithm written by a human, we can read it and see what it says too, figure it out, change it, blah blah blah. Okay, so the first generation of algorithm written by an algorithm, it becomes muddled for us. They use language and logic that we're unfamiliar with. How many generations away from human involvement would we have to get to where it's too late? There's no human that could figure this out. It's far beyond us at that point.
Yes, at that point we have to rely upon them to condescend to explain what they're up to.
No,
And
terrific.
we're not too
There-
far away from that.
There are actually already computer languages that are written by computers that we don't understand. And it's
Fair enough.
beautiful.
Beautiful and terrifying.
And intensely terrifying. I mean, it's happening right now.
And we're
Coming
already,
soon to a theater near you.
we're already building them physical bodies as well. Have you seen the Boston Dynamics videos?
Oh, most certainly. They got those motherfuckers working in teams now. I saw a bunch of robo dogs with a bunch of robot snack arms that were pulling a fucking truck the other day, man. It's getting crazy up there. They keep hitting those motherfuckers with sticks, and we're going to have robot overlords a lot sooner than we thought we were.
We're really counting on them to, when they achieve that degree of self-improvement that's exponential, when they achieve godlike intelligence, hopefully certain predictions are correct.
Yeah, we have
And
to pray for benevolence at that point, man. You know what I mean? Otherwise, we're fucked.
hopefully they understand we're just, stupid hairless monkeys who did our best and are inclined to at least keep us around as their creators for nostalgic reasons.
Yeah, right. We just become a piece of nostalgia. Hey, remember these things with the skin and the teeth? Check this out.
You
Oh,
know,
Lord, people in zoos. Realistically, is a zoo scenario so bad? Because at the kind of scale that I'd like to think AI would probably work in, let's say, for instance, that like a new robot overlords just sequester all of North America and that becomes a viewing slot for them, but they pretty much leave us alone on the inside. So we do the things that we're already doing. And I don't know, they airdrop supplies or something at this. I don't know. I'm thinking out loud on this one, man. And I'm
Well-
seeing motherfuckers talking about China in the chat, and I'm getting all distracted. Trying not to get started on China today, guys.
I'm actually quite impressed to know that you're aware of China. It seems like the majority of people really aren't, and they should be, because China...
Motherfuckers are building an artificial communist moon. How could we not notice? It's another moon. They're not building a fucking a hut that 3 people can live in or a 2-door sedan. This is something significantly fucking larger. And when you tie that in with the fact that they're creating genetically engineered artificial werewolves with their CRISPR technology, and that they use the money they got from sending the Wowie phones to the American government and then selling our advertisement data to the Russians so that they could get the parts necessary to fulfill the design for the death laser created by Elon Musk's children, mount it on board the Chinese Communist moon, and under that perpetual full moon power up an army of genetically engineered werewolves? Of course I fucking know about China, man. How can I not see all this happening?
And I, of course, knew all about that too.
That's the day one stuff. That's the things we know for sure. Yeah, we can speculate as to whether or not somebody is Superman 3ing PayPal transactions in order to fund the continual development of the labor forces necessary to operate the communist Chinese moon. But we don't know that for sure. What we do know is they have created artificial lycanthropy, and that when they send Chinese werewolves to American shores, we will have soldiers with AR-15 stalking the countryside in our brand new MAMMOTH mammoths, bitch. We have found a way to recreate woolly mammoths, and I'll be damned if we don't use them to take out those fucking goddamn red werewolves. This is America. We're not going to put up with it. 1419 will commence again.
I wasn't prepared for this in the slightest, and I'm afraid we're going to get the stream taken down. I'm going to have to...
I get that a lot.
Look, look, they already took out Alex Jones, and this is stuff Alex...
didn't know the truth about China.
This is stuff Alex Jones wouldn't dare throw out there, so I think I might have to take some precautions. Look, how do you feel about just claiming to be a cartoon character? And this is all an act, like Alex Jones did when he had to go to court to secure custody of his kids.
I mean, Red Dusk is real. It's extremely real. What? Hold up. Now, watch out now, Ark. You're getting a little bit close. I will come through with the face touch.
You.
All right? Hold up. Just hold up. Look, I'm going to let you finish. But Beyonce had the best album of the year, Taylor Swift, so just hold on. Look, guys, Red Dusk is real.
Weird. Is it supposed to tingle like that?
Proximity warning, man. You got to be careful. Where's dual wield? Somebody needs to clip that. I'm gonna let you finish. That was a good one.
it was. Maybe Frumman will cut it out later if he doesn't get around to it. Frumman has an extensive history of cutting and screen capping everything I've done to present it in the most horrifying way for me personally. So we'll see how that turns out.
Well, it's good to have friends. I understand.
Oh yes, been a huge boon, despite the fact that he's apparently trying to form a cult around me, and I think eventually that's probably going to result in some manner of legal action.
Well, you do have a nice, clean lab coat, man. I mean, it's not impossible. Look at this situation right here. Like, it's one of those, like, our boy looks good on the TV, guys. Am I right? Look at this.
Exactly. He has the cult personality.
Oh,
yeah,
God.
Dude, you're Harvey Dent, man.
Dressing all in white, that is a cultist thing, isn't it?
It's true. Now, you don't want to spill your Kool-Aid because you need to keep the fucking coat clean, man. But you're about 3.5 steps away from Jim Jones. And you can take that from me because I'm about 2.5 steps away. So I understand your pain, man. See that face you're making right now? That's the face I make when I wake up. I go, oh, Christ. China.
It's going to take some... It's going to take them shaking off. Look, I'm going to go to the chat real quick and cover some messages that Frumman has compiled for us. Greetings, everyone who I failed to greet when they came in. JDR reports, Bright Power, all hail Blue Whale, of course. All hail Blue Whale. Pinky, Gulf City. Solomon, howdy. How are my good boys today? JDR Serial Killer. Cybernetic Japanese Cat Girl Overlords, I'm down with that. I remember the cybernetic cat girls. I remember CRISPR werewolves. Did I miss the cat girls?
Cat girls? I mean, that's not my thing directly. Really, that's more related to Japan. And when it comes to Japan, look, here's the deal, man. Try it out. Here's the deal. Now, China is one thing because they're building an artificial moon. Okay, they're doing that completely independently. They've only recently found out that I'm even onto them with their plan to ransom the world with a death laser mounted aboard an artificial communist Chinese moon and enforcing their will with an army of genetically engineered werewolves, okay? That they didn't know that I was onto them on that until recently. I got a whole separate beef with Japan because they recently made it legal to whale again. And all of a sudden on all my streams, the fucking Japanese Whaler Association got to jump in and open their mouth with a fucking opinion. And they went right on my shit list, right between the Travel Channel and Drew Barrymore.
Oh boy.
That's right.
I don't know, Gulf Citizen, smash a like button, or like Joe Biden, touch it,
Correct.
Smell it.
Yeah, smell its hair. That's not weird at all.
And Steam is asking who gave you her files, although I'm skeptical on that one because I've heard Steam make this claim before. A lot of claims! Steam has claimed a lot of things, but never this before. And finally, Vincent Veritas has apparently decided to provide some infographics. Every dollar that is spent on the war on drugs is a dollar not spent on genetically engineering cat girls for domestic ownership. No, no, no.
I don't
Um,
know. Domestic ownership. I like those words when they come in in a pair, but I don't know about the rest.
wh- if they start selling genetically engineered cat girls, I'm not going to trust them personally. But I've just been informed that we need to take a very brief break and find some way to explain all this.
Red Dusk is real.
Okay, we're back, and of course, this has all been um, a cartoonist.
Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't do it fast enough. Give me a second. My fault, man.
No, no. Look, I don't think I have room to criticize you on this point. We have with us, of course, the person, and I'm sorry if this. Look, you can assume I'm lying. I do a lot.
Oh yeah,
There,
we got a
there,
super chat.
oh, please do inform us what the super chat is from immediately.
Vincent Veritas, you need to collab with Elon Musk. Cat girls now for $2.
Hey, man, whatever you can do to get Papa Musk on Team Capitalism, I'm down with.
I'm pretty sure Elon Musk is ultimately team.
I agree. We would want to think so, but we don't know. I've seen some evidence. You know what? I'm sorry. This is the second half. I'm gonna not keep going with the China shit.
Yeah, look, we have to hand wave all that away. We don't want parties getting interested. So that was all just a character presenting wild, nonsensical ideas that have no relevance to reality, like Alex Jones.
Yeah, dude.
And
Here, look. I'll even go to the camera so you know I'm a real person. Look at this right here.
ah,
Bam.
bam,
Yeah.
indeed. And thank you again for joining us. Um,
Sure, man.
Now this is the point where we get to talk to you directly, and we can talk about your projects. Like, how did you get in? What was the point in which you decided to launch Gulf City Cartoons and create the character of Ghastly, who is definitely a character, and not?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm a regular person in real life. I'm not a ghost trying to destroy the shadow Chinese government.
No,
That's
we haven't. We haven't.
insane.
This is not an elaborate facade designed to cover that up.
They're right.
Holy crap! We got some transparency issues. Oh right, that's
Oh
why.
yeah, I'm probably still at 75 from ghosting, from doing the ghosting. I tell you what, man, it's pretty rare. I don't really do too many with the camera turned on. I've only done a handful. You know what? Let me move my camera a little bit so you can see your cropping is different than I expected. That might give him a little bit more. Something like that right there. My friend Pink Salmon in the chat says, "You still look like Cartoon Ghost, Justin." That's true. I mean, I do pretty much actually look like that in real life, except for I'm opaque, I guess. I guess that's the main difference.
No, look,
But to answer your question,
I'm even pastier than I appear on camera.
I the original sketches for Gold City characters started in like 2007. And it kind of the idea for the series changed over time. There was a point in time where it was going to be a show about the day shift at a strip club, which I thought would be pretty funny. And there was a point in time where it was going to be a show about Gasly and Jerome being on a ghost cop TV show. Um, and then they made a movie or something that was kind of like that. And I was like, I'm gonna ditch this.
R.I.P.D.
Yeah, was maybe Jeff Bridges in that?
Jeff Bridges, and
Yeah.
not
I don't remember. I don't
Ryan.
I don't know that I saw it, man. I think maybe I saw part of it. But anyway, just over the course of several years, I continued to draw characters and come up with ideas for settings and kind of map out how this entire city works and what these relationships between characters are, where they work,
Mhm.
where they live, who their family is, who their friends are, what they do in their spare time, what motivates them politically and socially, and all of these different things. The problem was that I didn't have the technology. I was limited by what I had, I guess. I had the hardware maybe, but I didn't have the technological ability or the staffing for that matter to really animate anything. And then a couple of years ago, my primary software suite that I use is Adobe. I use Premiere, Photoshop, all those things, right? Adobe put out the beta for a piece of software called character animator, which is one of my primary tools now. And I got in touch with one of the developer guys, Dave Werner at Adobe, who's unbelievable. He's the fucking he's the sage when it comes to this software, and kind of just went through a lot of stuff with him and learned as much as I could in a short period of time. And certainly that software has changed over the last couple of years. But with the advent of integrating motion capture into some other methods, it made it possible to take some of these 2D drawings and find a way to not automate animation, but at least make it efficient enough where, as a reasonably small team, being primarily just me up until moderately recently, um, to be able to still work on creating the series. And I guess really the caveat is when my first shit on YouTube is on youtube.com/white supremacy. But the point being that how do I,
Please type that
what
in chats from and pass that along. We need to make sure
you know
that
it.
there's a good return on this turn up. I can't afford his guest fees otherwise. Look,
That's true. My appearance fee is ridiculous.
yeah. Look, I was only able to knock it down to something affordable with the bobble there. So
Yeah, right here. Wait, it would. I'm backwards, so it would be there. There we
yeah,
go. Just like that. Bam.
yeah. That's yours, by the way. I don't think I've actually sent it to you yet. Do whatever you want with it.
I'll put it on my set, my radio station set.
It's a bit different than usual. Normally I just go for a bobble, but I thought that something sassier was called for in this case.
Oh, that's sassy as hell. Look, I'm gonna do it like this.
That was on mine. And yes, you've done extraordinarily well. Your quality is through the roof, and you have a tremendous reputation already. It's just a really cool dude.
I appreciate that. I wish that YouTube felt the same way, but that's certainly appreciated, man.
Yeah, I gave up on actually courting goodwill from YouTube a long time ago. I was too late for that. That ship sailed a long time before I even arrived on the set. On note, you should know that being on camera, Steam is already referring to how adorable you are and wants to kidnap you.
Yow.
It's going to be quite the trick from UK, but, if you see any attempts happening, she's responsible.
Copy that.
No, also Vincent Veritas is stating that his suspension of disbelief has been utterly shattered because he's actually a weeaboo anime character. It's a bit tragic. He thought he found a sibling, and now it's gone.
Turned out you played yourself.
Indeed. It's tragic. But I want to thank you for coming on.
Sure.
I've got several articles lined up, but we've got plenty of time still to talk about your projects, what you're doing. You seem to be a very dedicated person.
Oh, I could go on and on and on. What was the one? There was something on Twitter the other day where you're like, oh, I got to talk about this. And what the fuck was that?
I'm sorry, that doesn't narrow it down much.
No, I can't fucking remember it, man.
There's
It was the 5 jobs. It was the 5 jobs thing when I made the 5 jobs post. And I think you retweeted it and you're like, hey, I want to remember to ask you about this on the show. I mean, it's not funny or anything, I guess. It's just talking about my work in the past before goal setting. But if you need fodder, that's the one I remember.
Oh, well, if you want to talk about that, that's perfectly welcome.
Oh,
I also remember.
You, man, it's your show, bro.
The only thing I remember is the skeleton thing. We already covered that. I've got articles prepared that are complete batshit insanity, but,
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, I'm looking at this broad with the fucking spider face tattoo right there.
Oh, yes. Look, I can go ahead and read you the shorts of this one.
Sure.
Basically, in Montgomery County, a woman with a memorable tattoo on her face has been arrested for the 3rd time in 6 months. Alyssa Zibraski, 27, of Canfield, not in Florida, Montgomery County, Ohio. I was confused at first, too. Was booked into the Montgomery County Jail on a charge out of Mahoning County on Tuesday. According to Montgomery County records, Zibraski was arrested in December on charges of theft and drug abuse. I wonder in what state she was in when she got these particular tattoos. Prior to that, she was arrested for obstructing official business following a police chase in Austintown. That's extraordinary.
I feel like if you've got that much face tattooing, maybe robbery ain't really your thing. You know what I mean? You're pretty recognizable at that point.
Unless you're working for the Yakuza. Yeah, I'm inclined to agree. Probably a life of crime is not the correct course of action.
That's true. You know, a buddy of mine went to Japan recently for work, and he's got one of his arms sleeved. And he came back and he told me that in certain parts of, 'cause he was in Tokyo, he said in certain parts of town they wouldn't let you go to um, certain bars or certain places with tattoos showing because that's a sign of gang membership in Japan. So even though he's clearly from America, tattoos have nothing to do with their like gang related shit. Tattoos showing at all. Uh, at some places there, they wouldn't let him in at all. That's crazy. He said he had to wear long sleeves the whole time he was in fucking Tokyo.
Honestly, I understand that. After all, if some Yakuza member, maybe drunk, doesn't interpret the tattoos correctly and offs him, that's going to hurt tourism.
I suppose that's possible. Yeah. Yeah.
Look, they're just looking out for the bottom line. I can see where they're going with that.
Yeah, but they're also turning away a sale. You know, they need to
Well-
apply the formula and see if that's really worth it.
I hear you. I suspect because they're Japanese, they probably have, and just decided that one
Fucking
lost
whalers.
sale. One lost sale is an okay loss compared to the drop in tourism after a tourist gets. I don't think you just get shanked by the Yakuza. It's probably something pretty spectacular.
Fair enough.
Katana
Yeah,
decapitation.
feel
I don't really know.
Yeah, it sounds like a decapitation situation to me. I don't know for sure. I've never been killed by the Japanese, but if I had to guess, I feel like they're or maybe they it's the like the harakiri wound. They give it to you in the gut, slice right across like this.
I don't think it counts as seppuku when someone does it to you.
Yeah, I just mean that type of wound where they cut your belly open.
Courtesy seppuku.
Yeah, right. I guess so.
Just run you through with the katana here, drive it down, and then chop off your head at the extreme moment of pain to save your honor. It's a courtesy killing.
Mm-hmm. See, I think you
Essentially-
might be onto something.
You're gutting them.
Yes. But, honorably.
Honorable disembowelment, man. Hey, that's a good name for a band.
Yeah.
Hey, Ark, you want to start a band called Honorable Disembowelment?
Actually, that is a pretty cool band name. Look, my instrument skills are really crap. I've got a mediocre grasp of a duet concertina. I'm trying to learn guitar, and it hasn't gone very well thus far. But, if I ever get any of those down, we'll talk. We'll talk.
Right on.
I should take up the accordion again. Who doesn't want
Should
an
you,
accordion?
though?
It's the accordion.
Honestly, if I had a accordion, I probably would have tried to learn it. Concertina isn't that much different. We have another article. Say, how do you feel about capitalism?
Oh, I'm definitely team capitalism. Capitalism is the only way, Ark. It's what makes America great, and England okay, and France terrible.
I think the reasons France are terrible, capitalism doesn't even factor into it. And I don't think you can blame it for the UK either. Actually, I'm not sure what you can blame capitalism specifically. Possibly the Middle East, if we're talking about oil, a bit of a stretch. But speaking of
That's
climate...
capitalism, bitch. I don't give a shit. You know what I mean? Obviously, the entrenched powers hold all the cards when it comes to money makes right, but
Yes.
better than being a fucking pinko bitch.
Oh, absolutely. Which makes this solution to the topic of climate change utterly baffling. How to stop climate change? Nationalize the oil companies.
Wait, so that the government regulates the... I already don't like this.
Well, it's said, but Venezuela did this.
But that wasn't real blah, blah, blah. If we did here, then it would... You know?
Extinction Rebellion got the ball rolling, but more radical action is now necessary if humanity is to survive!
Oh, boy.
If only the Daily Express was right. That is not a sentence I ever expected to type. I don't think that's something many expect to type. Extinction Rebellion protests have worked as MPs succumb to calls for change, bellowed the right-wing rag. Alas, the government has not capitulated to demands to declare climate emergency, let alone to decarbonize the British economy by 2025. But Extinction Rebellion has retaught a lesson that every generation must learn, that civil disobedience works. Amid the sputtering of obnoxious news presenters,
Define works. Define works, because it sounds like not having a job. That sounds like not working.
there is times it has worked. This isn't it, though. Besides, this is kind of missing the forest for the trees, in my opinion, because let's say by some fluke gluing their breasts to asphalt or dancing around naked in the House of Commons accomplished it, and that the UK is going totally green right now. No more fossil fuels. They're going to try to phase out nuclear power and nothing but solar powers and windmills. So what? Big nation. He's small, really. China doesn't give a shit.
No, certainly not. They got a moon to build, dude.
Even if they didn't, it's just so much bigger, so much more pollution, and it's not even being discussed here. So it's really hard to take them seriously. Not that it really helps when they're gluing their breasts to asphalt and, of course, dancing around naked in the House of Commons.
What's the story with the gluing the tits to the street? Is that a thing? Is this a real thing I don't know about yet?
Why? As it happens,
I try to assume everything's fake, but unfortunately, the reality of things is much stranger than fiction sometimes. And I'm a fucking cartoon ghost.
Look, hold on a second. I see I've made a horrible mistake here. We should probably go with this. I'm going to pull this up because, yes, it is real. Frumman actually brought it up. Here we go.
Oh, no.
You're right to be suspicious. I applaud that, by the way. No one should ever assume.
Right. Never can tell these days, man. Protester glues her breast to ground outside Goldman's. Why? For what fucking purpose? Who does that teach what lesson? The public works guys that gotta come scrape your titties off the fucking pavement?
She was surrounded by police officers who put up screens. So very bashful.
Why? Because she needs privacy? Fuck that noise. You glued your tits to the street. You have waived your right to a fucking privacy screen.
Clearly, dignity was not really high on the list of priorities to start with. That's extraordinary. From what you can see of this back shot here, I'm thinking not many people were really keen to go get a eyeful anyway.
Yeah.
The eco-prester
was... have an after shot of the tits? So you can see the damage?
I'm afraid not. Apparently, these are the best shots they've got, and look, I think
bath salts.
Not much is being missed here.
Yeah. Yeah, we didn't lose the cure for cancer on this one. Guys.
No. The eco-protester was spotted by passengers on a bus lying face down with her top up to her neck. Several police officers surrounded the woman and put up screens to stop the public from watching her one-woman protest. It was quite possibly the most spectacular stunt yet, as climate change activists targeted London's financial districts to highlight what they call the business world's role in our collective suicide.
Everything's a fucking superlative.
Look, climate change happens. I believe it is real. But my standing question is, when has it not ever changed?
Yeah, I think just using a general term like climate change is a little bit of a misnomer sometimes.
It does make touch misleading because the global climate has changed.
It changes. It's on a wax and wane cycle and has been since the beginning. You know, you want to talk about destruction of, I don't know what the word is.
Destruction of habitat?
If we're able to habitate, it would have, what would the conjugation there? We're maybe wrecking the planet's ability to support us specifically. But the planet's fine. It's gonna not give any type of a shit whether or not we make it. You know what I mean? So,
or alternatively, it might
climbing change destroying reality and shit.
Well, look, this has been predicted since, ever. Almost.
Yeah.
since human history, some group has always claimed that these are the end times.
Oh,
We're
of
all
course. Oh,
going to
most definitely.
die.
That's right.
Mind you,
And we
being
are all going to die. All of them have been right.
it's true on that point. Yes, we're all going to die, every last one of us, but probably not all at once. Probably not.
Probably not.
If
We'd like to
so,
think.
probably not climate change.
No, I think we're closer to nuclear annihilation than we are to that.
And of course,
Honestly.
there is that whole AI overlord thing. If they don't want to keep us
The
around,
AI overlord thing is a real danger. And then you've got the travel channel. You got to watch out for these guys, man. You never know where shit can sneak up on you.
no, I think it's good to pay attention to climate change. We might need to adjust for climate change whenever nature itself decides to murder us, which it might well do, because we need to remember that nature doesn't actually like us that much.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
we're
mean,
kind of imposing kind of a lot. I'm fine with it. I'm totally fine with it. I say we keep doing it, but sustainability is important. People go way overboard, just like anything. Just like anything where you go, hey, here's something that's not quite right. We should fix that. Then there's these people that go way fucking overboard with their desire to not only make whatever moderate change is necessary to fix the problem, but to make sure that everybody knows that they were the ones that did the right thing and that everybody else is wrong. And it becomes a whole fucking circus. And in order to have some kind of foundation where it sounds reasonable for them to act like that, everything becomes dire. Everything becomes a fucking superlative. And
and I'm
it's just
suspicious.
it's just weather. It's just weather, guys. It's
Well,
just weather.
the more dramatic something is, in my experience, the more dramatic something's presented, the more likely it is to be just completely batshit wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I've
Yeah.
found drama to be a pretty
See,
reliable.
see China and their communist moon. Like that's presented in the just most panicky, gigantic way I can possibly present that story.
Well, that's a fun joke. I'd be surprised if they were making Communist Moon, but I have to say that honestly,
They are. That's
China
the
does
thing.
scare
That's
me
what
a
makes it
bit.
crazy. They really are building a moon. That
What?
part is real. Yeah, that part is 100% real. Yeah.
That's the first I've heard of it.
Thing, oh, it's real as fuck, dude. You can Google the shit out of that. They want to replace the lighting infrastructure in one of their cities. So instead of street lights, they want to put a fake moon up there.
Okay, so next Wednesday's article, Wade, I'm going to try to focus on everything that China is up to. I was scared enough when I just
Remember
heard.
when I sent you that message and I was talking about I was going to do these scientific videos things? It's that stuff. Like I want to go into the kind of research side of all that shit. So see that face you're making? That's yeah. I made that same face because the moon part is real.
Look, I was already freaked out because they had gotten ahead of quantum technology to the point where they had reported they successfully teleported photons. That's bad enough. Just that's a scary big edge. And apparently it's even worse than I knew. Joy.
It is.
You
know what'll really bake your noodle? You know how they're gonna power that fucking moon? In the mountains in the north part of China, they built an artificial star that they claim they can get up to 6 times hotter than the sun. That's 100% real.
Well, now I have a whole bunch of new theories on how humanity might suddenly stop existing.
Right. Exactly. How things could immediately go wrong.
I'm on the bright side, I'm no longer that worried about nuclear war.
Right.
But other people
I
have
make cartoons. The real shit is too crazy. Like I'm making weird cartoons and they're more normal than real life.
that explains a lot of the show. I'm mostly trying to just try to view things from a lighthearted perspective, add some humor into things, so we don't get too bogged down in despair and panic.
Yeah. It's hard to. You've got to be alone with your own thoughts sometimes, and when you are, you want to avoid thinking about China and our AI robot overlords. That whole thing about the Huawei phones, that part's real too. The Chinese really did send a bunch of those Huawei phones to the American government, and then they got in trouble because we found out they were spying on us with them. They lost their government contract. The whole thing with the Russians building autonomous robot labor, that's 100% real as well. the CRISPR scientist being sequestered by the Chinese government after we was wanted for international war crimes. That part's 100% real. So, what makes Red Dusk as a conspiracy theory not only interesting but frightening and dangerous is that so many of the small pieces of it are 100% real. 100% real.
Mm. Yes, I can now say in full confidence that if we're all dead in 12 years, it's not going to
Not climate
be
change, it's the Chinese.
in accordance with AOC's projections or Hollywood's in general. I mean, do you remember when the movie The Day After Tomorrow came out?
That's the one where there was CG wolves at the end and the helicopter freezes and shit, right? They're in a library. What was that? Was that Dennis Quaid?
Yes.
Yeah, I've seen that one, yeah.
Yeah, that was set several years back now.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that didn't come to pass, and these new doomsday predictions probably won't. Although if there's a doomsday, clearly there are some alarmingly plausible doomsday scenarios that have nothing to do with
like
climate
the fucking
change.
army of genetically engineered werewolves, man.
I'm actually thinking what scares me is the whole artificial star thing.
Yeah, that's a serious amount of power to try to lock down in whatever level of containment here on Earth. Anything like think of how disastrous it can be if a nuclear cooling tower melts down. I can't imagine what a star imploding on Earth would be like. That's more than like blowing everything up. That might be like compressing us to a singularity level shit. I don't know how that would go, man.
Okay, look, let's
Chinese.
Well, to kind of correct one or two things, cooling towers completely empty. It's literally just meant to shoot out water and let it evaporate. The stuff that you see coming out is steam. That's it.
Right.
And if it's an artificial star, my guess it's a fusion plant, which we already have one or two in France, I think. So
Correct.
it's not going to be that big a deal because
I don't know. 6 times hotter than the sun sounds like a big deal to me.
we get hotter than that with a lot of things. It's just
I'd
that
be
it's such
interested
a
to
small
see
area.
those numbers because that sounds pretty hot.
okay, that could be the case. But
Nonetheless, man,
this
the
is
Chinese
something.
have one.
Yes.
It's
Climate
beautiful.
change does seem to be a bit of a distraction. Again, I'd have to see the numbers to confirm that. Maybe artificial star. Maybe they're exaggerating a bit to put on a good show. That wouldn't be surprising. But
Probably. I know that I'm definitely exaggerating a bit.
Well,
like, that's my whole thing.
Because like an artificial star would be so massive that the Earth would just get sucked into it. Like because that's how the stars work. It works off of gravity. But if a fusion reactor works differently, it smashes atoms together.
so we better hope.
Everything I read said the words artificial star. So again, they could just be hyping it up. I'm definitely taking any exaggeration and running with it.
Fingers crossed they're full of crap.
I definitely have not done the research.
Yes.
I'm just taking the sensationalized part.
Yeah, we're all just playing around with it, really. But hey, look, good news. If climate change is going to doom the world, it's already taken care of. And Oxford University professors claim that aliens are already breeding with humans to create a new hybrid species that will save the planet.
Werewolves.
You know, you say werewolves, but is there any reason not to believe that maybe the aliens are furries?
Yeah, wolf-like in their
God.
nature. Yeah.
Oh God.
It very well could be. Isn't this
Furries
one
are
of
alien.
the oh boy.
And,
Why they wear them costumes, man, so you can't see them underneath where they're all alien-like.
the Oxford professor says that he's an instructor in Korean, because, of course, if you're an expert in one thing, you're an expert in all things. At Oxford's Oriental Institute, part of the prestigious university, thinks this new species will save the Earth from annihilation from climate change. But you might ask yourself, how are they going to do this amazing thing? Well, Vice knows.
Oh boy. Yeah, so what, you just dig a little hole there in the ground and you just go to work, man.
Apparently so.
Plant the seed.
This is from 2016, and 2016 does seem to be sort of a focal point for things going weird.
Just lovely.
But from skinny dippers to people who have actual intercourse with nature, ecosexuality is a growing movement taking a new approach to combating...
Wait. Can we back up that actual intercourse with nature? What the fuck does that mean?
Apparently,
Is that
from what...
sticking your dick in a tree? I do not approve.
Ark has very good experience with this.
Are you banging trees, dude?
Broman, shut up. Look, there was...
around here, man.
There was a hypothetical scenario where I took a brief visit to Morscar and it ended badly involving a tree. That's all we're going to talk about.
Dealing with Magoo.
Yes, we're not going to talk about it. It's been dealt with. I've got an explanatory video cooking that will put this to bed once and for all.
No, sir, I don't like it.
Well, neither did I. But anyhow, I am not an ecosexual and I do not approve of any of this. Genitals and nature will never mix, certainly not to save the planet. But we're out of time anyway.
Hold up, what is happening in that picture?
Apparently this is a beautiful depiction of ecosexuality.
They're rubbing their front yards together, man. That's fucked up.
I don't...
It's a grass mask.
Grass mask.
I really have no idea what they think they're accomplishing here, but...
Maybe it's an ASMR thing. They'll both fall asleep here in a few.
We objectively just don't have time for this. This is my fault. Time management is poor. We're only scheduled for an hour. So I guess it's time to start wrapping things up. First off...
Oh, did we even talk about cartoons? Man, we got all off track on China and shit.
Yes.
That's okay, man. No worries.
Look, strictly speaking, I'm thinking in this case, I probably made a mistake. We could have filled 2 hours easily, but
I can yell about 90 minutes on anything. Basically.
Hey, if we want to do this again, definitely down for it. It's been great fun. Thank you very much for joining me, everyone. Please be sure to click on the links that hopefully Fredman has thrown in the chats to sign up for Gulf City cartoons and watch the adventures of Ghastly. If he hasn't yet, he's probably on that.
I can shill it out here if you want me to.
Go for it. Shill the hell away.
Oh, you know me. I'm the biggest shill on the internet, man. That's what I'm talking about. Guys,
I'm still working on it.
Here's what you want to do. Go over to youtube.com/Fright Supremacy and subscribe and hit the bell icon so you can get notifications from me. And of course, you can follow me on Twitter at GhastlyDope to stay up to date with all the latest live shit that we got going on. It's not only myself, but the rest of the Gulf City cast. And more importantly than that, go over to youtube.com/Gulf City. Subscribe and hit the bell icon, because if you aren't watching the cartoons, you're only getting half the story. If you want to support Gulf City programming, you can do that by going to streamlabs.com/Gulf City or patreon.com/Gulf City. Of course, if you want to get some free money, that's even better. You can do that by going to golf-gear.com. That's golf-gear.com. Arketer, what was it?
GulfCity.com.
Yeah, it's close enough, man. That's what I'm talking about. Thanks for having me on, guys. Great show, man.
Look, I'm still a bit of a neophyte. I'm learning. But
no worries, dude.
Clearly, this is a master at work, and I'm in awe. So, again, thank you very much. Also, for our part, please stay tuned later on. Direwolf Media will have its weekend roundup. Supporting Direwolf Media Network channel can be done through streamlabs.com/direwolf. It's there somewhere. They're the reason I'm here on this network, so, you know, that's the way to go. Thank you all for watching. Ostensibly, progress continues, and as long as progress continues, success is inevitable.
Subscribe to whatever channel you're watching right now.
And all of them. You hypothetically know which ones you're on. And mine too. Right. Until next time, I'm Director Arketer. This is the man responsible for Gulf City and Ghastly. And we'll see you next time. Cheers!